What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka you gonna finish that, aka the serial killer, aka the Komaki Tiger Dropper, aka the nigga lip master. Bringing you yet another episode of Switch Your Sights, episode 207 to be exact. Today's date is February 20th, 2026. Had recorded this previously, but then realized I wasn't recording, so that's fun. So people on Twitch, you got a cool little live outtake, so to speak. So we're doing this again. Damn. So it's been a minute since we've talked. I think December of last year. Feel like nothing wasn't really popping in January and up until like now, were some things that I actually wanted to talk about. So I think that's been the approach I've been having since I don't know how long. So I was like, yeah, if I don't feel it, I don't feel it, Not trying to force myself to, just do it to do it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Hope everybody had a wonderful Valentine's Day, Happy New Year and all that stuff. Hopefully, you didn't break up with your person right before just to, because you didn't want to spend money. That's wild. But hey, people be doing that. I'm just saying. Well, the world is getting worse and worse. CPU memory prices is ruining everything. Now people can't produce stuff, and I mean that we acknowledge that, but I mean still it feels like it's getting worse. AI is ruining everything. It feels like so. That's been fun. It's like, what can we do? Excuse me, what can we do? I don't know. But nonetheless, I have a pretty good episode for you this week, or month, rather. Talk about the state of play that happened fairly recently, as well as Sony closing Bluepoint Studios, and Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond leaving Xbox, or stepping down. I don't know about that, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, without further ado, let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. First topic of discussion, the state of play by Sony happened, and I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, just first off the bat, we'll just go over some of the games that are kind of interesting. I'm not gonna go like in detail of every single game, but I'll maybe glance on some. 007 First Light. I don't recall much of what they showed there, but it was fine. For Loop, I guess they're doing like some beta test or alpha test down the line. Beast of Reincarnation, I think this is the game made by Game Freak, of notoriously of Pokemon fame. It was cool. It was all right. It wasn't nothing really to latch onto, it felt like. But Castlevania, Belmont's Curse, a new 2D Castlevania game. I thought maybe this might be a remake of one of the other games, but no, it seems like a new original Castlevania game. Development duties are shared between Konami, Evil Empire, and Motion Twin. So yeah. Control Resonant, saw like a gameplay reveal trailer. I feel like this is it's not a game I'm like immediately excited for, but like probably like around before it comes out is when I'll be, you know, interested in playing. I feel like it's the type of game I just would want to just play rather than like, you know, see marketing for. Crimson Moon, which is I guess it came off as a Souls like, but yeah, new action adventure RPG. Darwin's Paradox, which I guess is a new original game from Konami. That's cool. That's fine. What else? Oh, Dead or Alive 6. That was pretty crazy. Of course, Dead or Alive 6 has already been out for who knows how long, but on the PS4, but Dead or Alive 6 Last Round is a new version of Dead or Alive 6. But what's different about this? It'll have both standard and free to play editions, which I think 6 had before on the PS4, with the latter featuring 4 fighters from the fuller 29 strong roster. But then also after that, they did reveal do a trailer or like a teaser for work for another new entry to Dead or Alive. So presumably Dead or Alive 7, if they decide to call it that. Which boy, they were showing the boobies. They was just I mean that's they kind of go hand in hand, no pun intended, but yeah. I mean, they go hand in hand really. So I mean, it wouldn't be Dead or Alive if nothing it wouldn't be Dead or Alive if nothing is jiggling. It's not Dead or Alive if nothing is jiggling. I'm just saying. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach PC port announcement. I mean, I think I've expressed my feelings on Death Stranding 2. It was more of the same of the Death Stranding 1. So, I am not gonna rush to my PC come March 19th. But hey, I'm all for more people being able to experience it. God of War had a big announcement that it started with T.C. Carson, who was the former voice actor for Kratos in the original trilogy, at least. He the charisma flew on the damn TV. But yeah, he basically revealed that they're remaking the whole God of War trilogy. But they said it's in early development, so yeah. But they did also reveal another game that they shadow dropped the day of the direct, right after. God of War Sons of Sparta, which I've yet to play. I don't know. It was, at least it looked cool, but I don't know if I would I think it was like $30, but I don't know if I would bite just yet. Personally. But it was a cool little backstory of Kratos and his brother, from what I hear or saw in the trailer. But just a lot of questions with the God of War remake. Like, are they going with the new God of War mechanics and camera and plugging it into, or making it work within this trilogy, this remake? Or are they gonna basically refine the what they did in the originals and just just make it look prettier, which I'm more on that camp than the new God of War is the new God of War. Just keep the old God of War like the old God of War is my sentiment. But there was something by now that I remember, Christopher Judge, the voice actor for the current Kratos, newer Kratos. He, I guess, I'm not sure if, I doubt it was intentional, but unintentionally revealed that that God of War will feature a new fighting system, but also, what were some other details? That we will hear more this summer, or that I guess a new project made by Cory Barlog will be shown this summer. What that is, we don't fully know. But yeah, it was like this streamer Fuzz Puzzy, who I guess she was mic'd up talking to Christopher Judge at like a con, I'm assuming, and asked one of the videos. I guess the video was deleted, so apparently he was not supposed to say that. But yeah, that like TC Carson is exclusively working on the reboot, or I'm not the reboot, but the remakes. And I guess it is not a reboot of the series because they are testing new technology. Shortly after, he mentions the new fighting system and says that once again it will feature the original voice of Kratos from the Greek saga. Yeah, he also confirms that you will be able to see what we are doing probably late summer. So maybe a dedicated Sony event or like a Summer Games Fest are my guesses there. Okay, so I guess they at least maybe that kind of helped cleared up some of those details there. Ghost of Yotei Legends, so multiplayer Ghost of Yotei, which, hey, I enjoyed the Legends mode for the original Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm definitely down to jumping in this March 10th and a free update similar to that. Ooh, probably one of the bigger announcements, freaking John Wick, a legit John Wick game. And it is shaping up to be pretty good. It seems like everything I would want to do in a John Wick game I could do. A lot of people are suspecting that it might be like a mix of Sifu and I guess John Wick and Sifu, essentially, where, you know, interacting with the environments and taking dudes out with books and shit. That's my hope and aspiration, which I think they did show a little bit. Distinctive gunfu action and intense driving experiences is what they're saying in the Sony press. Yeah, the studio is promising the signature elements from John Wick movies to be present in the game, from the unique use of camera work, bold and cinematic environments, and extremely distinctive gunfu action and intense driving experiences. The game is coming to PS5, but release date and official title is not yet known. And I think they also said that it is going to be a prequel to the movies, which is pretty cool. So, I think they get a lot more flexibility to do various things, so they're not confined with, trying to follow the movies directly or anything like that. So that's pretty cool. Kenya, sequel to Kenya, Path of the Spirits, I think was the original one, but they did a new one, or are making a new one, Scars of Cosmora. Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. Marathon, I guess they're doing what they call a server slam, or basically a beta, February 26th, where PS5 players will be able to experience select content from the full game, as well as earn tier gear packages and grab a special emblem and banner, which will be available in the full experience. I don't know. I mean, I may try it out just out of curiosity, but I don't know. From everything I've seen about Marathon, I mean, outside of the like aesthetics, which are really good, but I just feel like I feel so let down by Bungie with Destiny that I don't know. The trailers for Marathon have not really sold me that much, but we'll see. Marvel Tokon Souls. They showed the X-Men, Wolverine, Storm. Well, Storm they already showed, but Wolverine, Magic, and what's this girl? Danger, which those I've never heard of. Well, outside of Magic from Marvel, Marvel Rivals. So that seems cool. Would have preferred like Cyclops or Magneto or somebody. Shit, even even Mr. X, they could probably make it work, but nonetheless, I digress. Mina the Hollower, they revealed. I think this is the game made by the developers that made Shovel Knight. So I think they dropped a demo for the game exclusively to the PlayStation 5. Had some cool PlayStation Plus reveals. They announced Time Crisis, and they said that you could use the gyro controls to aim, which is pretty compelling. And then Tekken Dark Resurrection, oddly the PSP version, and it's like why not have the PlayStation 3 version? But I guess maybe because they can't emulate the PS3 natively. Pragmata demo. Well, they gave us a closer look at Pragmata, but that's coming April 24th. Probably the most one of the most notable things of this state of play, Project Windless. Basically, it feels like a mix between. Well, it's definitely like a Musu all in all, but then like it has like action RPG elements as well. So it's kind of like Dynasty Warriors with more RPG elements to it. But for the first time, I can play as a badass chicken, like a legit straight up chicken. That's badass. I mean, it don't get no better than that, So hey, I know I want to play a chicken. So very peculiar, but yes, like a legit chicken beating up and slashing dudes. It's like I didn't know I really needed it until I saw it. So it'll definitely be on my radar. I'm looking out for it. Resident Evil Requiem got yet another trailer, which I don't think we needed. Personally, I was totally fine. Like all we had before was good, but now no demo, which is unfortunate. But I mean, at the same time, I don't think they really needed to, but it would have been nice just to play it before it came out. Sorrows got a overview trailer, looked pretty good. Silent Hill Townfall, this is actually fairly surprising. So new Silent Hill, but it's in a new area. I forgot what they called it, but it is a first person, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I mean I'm still interested, I'll say. But also the protagonist is a black dude. I mean, some people call it Nigga Hill, but I mean that's just me. I want to go to Nigga Hill. I want to go. I gotta go. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm interested. Gotta support the black. It's funny. A lot of people on like Twitter was saying like, you know damn well no black dude is gonna go to Silent Hill, which is funny. So it's fairly true, but suspension of belief, suspension of belief. Star Wars Galactic Racer, Yako Shinobi Ops. This had very heavy Tenchu vibes, but it was isometric, which that kind of took me out. I'm not a huge fan of isometric games generally, so it did not really captivate me. Since that, Then probably the biggest thing for me, at least, out of this state of play is highly speculated, highly rumored, but we finally got an announcement that Metal Gear Solid 2 Master Collection Volume 2 was announced. That includes Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, but get this, Metal Gear Solid 4. Oh, never thought we'd see this day. I never thought we'd see this day, but we finally did. Metal Gear Solid 4 is free from the shackles of the PS3. I am very excited. As for those that don't know, Metal Gear Solid 4 is probably, definitely top 10 games of all time. Definitely my favorite Metal Gear in the Metal Gear Solid series. So for me to be able to play this in 4K, higher resolution, higher frame rates, which they did confirm that those are will be aspects of it. I am very, very looking forward to this. So, yeah. Very relieved. I am a little concerned. Obviously this has come from the PS3, so I think the biggest question a lot of people have is like, how are they porting this to, be able to play on these various systems and whatnot. So I think we'll probably find that closer to release. I think it's coming out in August 27th of this year. So I guess we'll find out then. Also, this game comes with Metal Gear Ghost Babel, which a lot of people, at least from what I hear, is like kind of a cult classic in of itself. So I'm kind of curious to play with that as well when this collection comes out. So Peace Walker was okay. I mean, I already played it, and I don't know, it just never really gravitated towards me. It was fine for what it is when I played it, but I don't know if it just didn't have a lasting impact on me personally. But I may dabble in it a little bit, but definitely Metal Gear Solid 4 is worth the price of admission alone for me. So I would have wished, I did wish I wish they had the Twin Snakes, which maybe they're saving that for Volume 3. Probably, jump in some licensing hurdles, I would guess, to try to get that to get them to port that. But that would definitely sell me on Volume 3 at the very least. Like that with the remaining like miscellaneous Metal Gear Solid games, Metal Gear Acid, and I think just the Twin Stakes with Metal Gear Acid, the two Metal Gear Acids, and the portable ops games, that'd be a solid volume in of itself there. So we'll see. I think they'll probably gauge how this volume 2 caters to people, how they respond to it. At least some of the MGS4 haters will at least get a chance to actually play the game without just talking bad about it and not playing it. I guess that was the thing too, that oddly they removed Metal Gear Solid 4 from the PlayStation Store, and the Xbox Store. Well, not Metal Gear Solid 4, but Peace Walker from the Xbox Store, which is weird and unusual, and people are kind of upset about that, understandably so. It's like, well, since this is coming out, you can't buy it on the platforms you have been playing it on, which is kind of messed up. So if you bought it, you're good though. You can re-download it if you already bought it, which I think I got it from PS Plus, but nonetheless, hey. Well, at least there's the physical editions. I guess that's what you're limited to as well. So, but yeah, that was definitely, that was good enough for me. The Bloodborne thing still I'm gonna still take that bloodbornium. I still need it. I still need that dose. Especially after this next thing that happened. So by at least confirmed by Jason Schreier, it was like rumored. At least I saw a reset area, but nobody could confirm it until Jason Schreier actually posted it on Blue Sky. PlayStation is shutting down Bluepoint Games, the studio responsible for modern remakes of classic games such as Demon Souls and Shadow of the Colossus. Bloomberg News has learned, um, which is very disappointing because a lot of people, like, really revered Bluepoint, like as a studio, and understandably so, because like, yeah, them doing the Demon Souls remake specifically, at least for me, it's like, having played the originals, like they did a fantastic job. And I think there are some miscellaneous things they did work on. I think they worked on the um, Metal Gear Solid collection on the PS3 and 360 as well. So they've had a good reputation of porting games specifically, which I think has really helped their reputation as well. But then for Sony to just totally drop them completely is just why? Why? And there's admittedly more deserving studios that you could do that to, but Bluepoint, which also has people, because a lot of people were rumoring them to be possibly making a port or maybe working on a sequel for Bloodborne. Um, but it looks like that's kind of shot down mostly. I guess there is maybe some other options for them to do, but it's like, why do that when you could just keep your team, you know? So yeah, understandably, a lot of people are upset and disappointed about this. Personally, myself as well, that like they're such a good studio and just to shut them down, not cool, man. Not cool. Uh, well, if PlayStation messes up for some reason, Xbox just wants to do it like worse, or even to a greater extent, because um it just announced today earlier, Phil Spencer is retiring and Sarah Bond is out. Matt Booty promoted as Microsoft AI exec, and Asha, or no, AI exec Asha Sharma named new Xbox boss, which is just, yeah. So a lot of people are speculating that Phil Spencer was let go and like he was pressured to leave, or whatever you want to spin it, but it's pretty apparent that he was asked to leave and or like basically fired, but as well as Sarah Bond, who left, but then people were saying like she made a post on LinkedIn replying to somebody saying, hey, can't wait for you to be on our, I forgot what it was, but it was basically something along the lines of like, hey, we always represent Xbox and something like that. So it was very apparent that she had no intention of leaving the company or anything like that. But then like that was 3 hours ago, and then now all of a sudden she's immediately gone. So very, very suspicious behavior nonetheless. But then yeah, the new CEO of Xbox Gaming is somebody who's the head of AI and doesn't have any experience within gaming at all. Which it has people, admittedly, understandably, like suspicious. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that specifically if you're not, planning to heavily implement AI and whatever. So there you have it. Um, and also, I don't know, it just makes things a little weird in terms of just the weirdness of Xbox in general, with um Xbox just making some weird decisions with the I think what the Xbox is more expensive than a PlayStation 5, which is just like, why would you do that? Well, obviously the tariffs and all that, but like, you would sell more if you sell them at a loss at this point, if that's your goal. But apparently, it does not seem to be their goal, and like, they're diversifying their stuff into software and publishers and developers and stuff. So, uh, this just does not feel like a good sign in general. So, yeah. Yeah, she was the former VP of product and engineering at Meta and former Instacart COO, who is also a board member of the Home Depot. I don't know. Not looking good. Not looking good. I don't know. It definitely feels indicative of the Xbox going in a drastically different direction, but it does not seem like it's going to be great. Yeah. So there you go. That's fun. Gotta love it. In better news, Rainbow Six Siege. I don't play. I played a while back, but during, I think it was some competitive event. But yeah, they revealed that Metal Gear, or Solid Snake from Metal Gear, is joining Rainbow Six Siege as a permanent playable operator when Operation Silent Hunt launches on March 3rd. And they showed a pretty dope trailer, which I think for a lot of us growing up with these two games mostly competing towards each other, with stealth specifically. It's kind of, yeah, on the caliber of like, Mario and Sonic fighting against each other, being included with each other, and Marvel vs. Capcom, because they did the classic, well, it's kind of classic now, yeah, hit it there. So the trailer started like, I forgot specifically, but he said the thing. He said kept you waiting, huh? And Sam was like, "Hey, you did," or something. I'm butchering it, but then they did the clap. And they did the hand. What was it from? It was Arnold Schwarzenegger and damn it, I forgot the black dude. You son of a bitch. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But uh I'm with it. I just wish it was in a game that I would really want to play. Because Rainbow Six Siege is a very drastically different game. It's Rainbow Six. It's not like Splinter Cell or Metal Gear. So I think a lot of people, include myself, would have preferred this to be like a straight up crossover game, or Splinter Cell with Solid Snake, which potentially could possibly still happen, if we be honest, because there is the Splinter Cell remake. Or maybe they do something cool where they have just this DLC mission or one-off mission, extra mission after you beat the game or something that you can play as Solid Snake within Splinter Cell or something like that. Or I wouldn't be opposed to them like somehow managing to include Solid Snake in a Splinter Cell game. That I could there's some potential there. So at the very least, this definitely like at least opens up the possibility for these two to cross over potentially. At least I feel like that's what they're kind of alluding to some extent. Because yeah, just to include him as an operator in Siege also feels like it's kind of telling of at least Konami and Ubisoft cooperating in talks with each other. So it could possibly lead to Sam Fisher maybe crossing over with Solid Snake and maybe a new Metal Gear, or maybe that's the selling point for the next Metal Gear or something like that. It's a lot of possibilities, but yeah, just this happening in of itself is pretty big. So, wow, yeah, seeing a picture of both of them, like, shaking hands, it's like, it's crazy. It's like, damn. A lot of people, like, back in the day was like, would never fathom the day this would ever happen. So, I'm all for it. I wish it was a game I really wanted to play, but I don't know. I might be curious enough just to see and play this mode, since I think Rainbow Six is free to play. So there you have it. There you have it. And that's all the news for this episode. Get into what I've been playing. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I beat it a while ago, but I haven't talked about it. I literally did everything in the game. Got all the achievements. And it was great. It was great. I forgot where I left off last time talking about it, but yeah, I pretty much did everything. Shout out to this exploit that I did. It was like some YouTube video that had a surprisingly low amount of views, but boy, that it worked. It was one particular achievement I was trying to get a character to level 99. I'm like, after I beat the game, I was at level 94. So I'm like, how am I going to do that? So there's this exploit I found that, like, from this guy on YouTube, where if you go to, Frozen Hearts, go to Frozen Hearts and you fight these enemies, these women with the sashes. I forgot what they're called. Denus, Desus. You fight them, but you leave, I think, one on the right, leave her alive, but kill the other ones. And then she'll keep spawning another one. And basically you do that and for like 10 minutes, and you don't get damaged. So your parrying has to be pretty good, which, at that point in the game, it's pretty good. You get an insane amount of XP, like 1.2 trillion or something. At least I want to say I got. And so, as you'd imagine, all my characters immediately got to level 99. So I was like, oh yes, very thankful for this, because I was like, I'm gonna have to grind for a few hours to do this, and I didn't want to after I beat it. So shouts out to that guy. I forgot his name, but God's work, man. What else? Yeah, beating the game and getting the ending, it was cool. I went with spoilers. I maybe not gonna spoil it that much, but there are multiple endings to the game, and the ending I went with was Verso's ending. I feel like I just agreed with him more. I think a lot of people agrees that that's more so the good ending. I just recalled I didn't even think to see what's her name's Mael's ending, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I understand why I got Game of the Year. I feel like there were some games I personally would have preferred over Expedition 33, but I am glad I experienced it, like, after now reflecting on it after some time has actually passed. And I don't have the recency bias, but yeah, it was some cool, interesting stuff. The parry mechanic, of course, and it definitely, I could definitely see this game making a lot of impressions on RPGs going forward for sure, which I think is a good thing. But hopefully it doesn't fall the way of like, oh, this is an expedition like, I would prefer not that, but I see the appeal. I was clearly enthralled by it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Also, fuck Simon. If you play against him, you'll know what I mean. But he is insanely hard, and I guess there's a way to beat him pre-patch, like thank you update patch. And that he broke that, but boy, I managed to beat him just barely. So I guess slight spoilers for Simon, but yeah, he's like a very strong boss, like end game boss really. He's optional, so you don't have to, he's not like instrumental to the story. So his thing is that he just has long ass strings of attacks that, if you don't parry any of them, or most of them, you're gonna die. So that's the tough part. But then also, if you have shields, he takes those and adds them to himself, so you can't really have shields fighting him. Almost every turn he like takes all the health of a particular character. Then also, if your character dies during before his turn, and you don't manage to revive your person or whatever, he can completely remove the character from the battle. So then you're potentially restricted there. What was another thing? He'll get to a certain phase in his in the fight where he'll then legitimately take off all of your primary characters out and force you to fight with your secondary characters, which is like who, how you, obviously they're not your primary, so it's like, you're not it's apparent you don't favor them more than likely. So boy, yeah, that just sucked. So all of that happened in my fight, and mind you, I did like, it felt like 70, maybe 60 to 70 tries probably. So I'm fighting a dude, and it's going okay. I'm using Mael's Gamage, that's been helping a lot, along with her double damage stack and all that, and building up burn, which that was also helping. And then it gets to the point where he takes out your whole primary team and forces you to play with your secondary. And then it's Monoko and Loon that I'm fighting with. Just wipes out Loon. I managed to revive her back, and then eventually, she does a little some damage here and there. Then she gets eliminated. Then it's just Monaco and Simon. We going back and forth. I'm managing to parry some of his moves, mostly to stay alive. And then eventually he just kills me, and I'm like, well, fuck. Then as he kills me, he dies. So I'm like, what the hell happened? Then I forgot to, like, I had a Picto or a Luna. I forgot what it's called. Luna. The secondary thing that powers you up. It's basically, I think it's Loon or something, but nonetheless, I had the Picto that lets you damage a person after you die on your death. So I did that, and magically that's what killed him at the end, because I wasn't going to kill him otherwise. So barely won that fight, but hey, a win's a win. A win's a win. But that was a very fun fight. Very tough, but it definitely forced you to, like, configure your party and, your Pictos and Lunas or whatever. So, but it was fun. It was fun. There was actually some more other, like, boss fights from after the DLC, which I did play the DLC level to try to get more powerful to fight Simon. It kind of helped, and some of them kind of helped, but yeah, it was fun. But yeah, there was like some remaining boss fights that I was like, I'm good, I'm all right. that, you know, their end game bosses where they, you know, oh, you want to fight Simon again, but in ultra hard mode, oh, hard, so hard you'll throw your controller, or you'll just give up on gaming forever. I'm like, I'm good. I struggled enough with Simon. I don't really need to. I don't really need to fight him again in an even harder version. I'm good. No, thank you. So, um, yeah, yeah. Fun game, great game, fantastic game. I appreciate everything it's doing for the RPG genre. Yeah. So yeah, that was Expedition 33. Then also played Romeo's a Dead Man. Um, of course, the game by the one and only Suda51, probably one of my favorite developers. Um, I'm thoroughly enjoying it, I will say. You could definitely see the inspiration from No More Heroes. A lot of references and inspiration there. Also, a lot of his other games, other previous games he's worked on, is actually in here too. Which, I mean, I feel like that's kind of been a thing with a lot of his games. Like, pretty much almost all of the games he's worked on have some interconnectivity to a degree. Which this game is no different. I feel like this game might be the most he has connected various franchises or various previous games he's worked on into this, which I'm a fan of, because if anything, it's also making me want to play some of these games. Like, you know, not really a spoiler, but there's a lot of the silver case references and characters in this that I'm like, I have silver case and I've never gotten around to it, because I know it's like a interactive novel, which I'm like, that doesn't initially like pique my, you know, interest. So I yeah, I feel like after I finish this, I'm tempted to play the silver case at some point, you know. So but yeah, the combat is good. It has that signature Suda51, very obscure, hard to comprehend, but that's part of why I like it. Also, with great presentation mixed in, that, you know, is so unique to Suda. It feels like that it just keeps me interested and invested. So yeah, there's that. What else? I don't know. That's the combat is pretty good. I feel like I only gravitate towards I forgot what the sword is called, like the big sword in the game, and then the shotgun. It feels like those are, like, in my opinion, like the best weapons in the game. For most situations, probably like in some scenarios, it's probably more advantageous to use different some of the other weapons, but those are the ones I just stick to. Which I'm not as I'm surprisingly not bored with. I feel like there's enough combo variety that, like, keeps me interested in just using those weapons, but also because they're powerful and I don't have to do as many slashes or whatever. But I think I know some people are saying that, like, the sword might be a little too OP, but I mean, it feels fine to me personally. So yeah, I don't know, without giving too much away. Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think I'm somewhat close to beating it from where I'm at. I like the bastard system where it's like zombies, you like grow. You can feel like they're kind of doing like kind of a Pokemon. They're kind of poking at Pokemon to an extent where you can grow them, and then you can use them like they have various abilities. Like you can shoot. One can shoot like a turret at an enemy. One can poison them. There's one that like has a field health generating field that you can use, so you don't have to use your health pills, or what they call it. That's fun. I also like the 2D like home base you go to. Like it's like a different game in a way, where it's like all in 2D. You could tell that, you know, they had somewhat of a limited budget, like at least how it feels, how creative Suda is getting with like, you know, the budget, because like not every cutscene you play is full in engine, but like it's a lot of 2D like comic, you know, cutscenes. And with any other person, I feel like I'd be very off put by it, but I feel like with Suda51, he just has that knack of making it work. Like you can understand that it's, hey, this is probably not the biggest budget, but also it's like he's being very creative with those limitations, which I respect. Yeah, that's Suda51, man. But yeah, for everything it is, I'm enjoying it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I really am. It's fun. Yeah, I'm curious how it's gonna end. It's just it's just a lot that goes over my head. But that's partially why I think I am engaged with it, because I'm like, I kind of want to know more, but I'm like, it's so obscure and vague at the same time that it just comes off as interesting, you know, along with the great presentation. But I'm in it, man. I'm kind of mad there wasn't a physical version. I think they said they're working on it. I think they, you know, you could tell that he had a limited budget, because yeah, like, you know, no marketing, no physical version yet. It was literally just digital on, you know, PlayStation and Steam, I think, and I think Xbox. So yeah, Romeo's a dead man. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Hey, if you're a Suda51 fan, I think it's a no-brainer, really. Yeah. I think, and actually I'd argue, I don't know. No More Heroes is a really good introductory game to like Suda51 games. I think it's a good entry point, at least from what I played so far, to like get an idea of what a Suda51 game is like. But I feel like I think I still like No More Heroes more as a whole, given they have, you know, 3 entries or 4 entries compared to this one. But I don't know. Haven't not finished it yet. It's yeah, it's very, very interesting, to say the least. So Romeo's a dead man. I will give you the details next episode after I finish it. Then there's Resident Evil 9, and you know, which I'm very excited for. But so yeah. With that being said, I think that will conclude episode 207 of Switch's Sights. If you did like this podcast, feel free to like, rate, subscribe on your favorite podcasting platforms. You can also catch me stream this live on Twitch TV/HeySwitch. You can also catch the video archive of these podcasts on youtube.com/HeySwitch. But yeah, man, Resident Evil 9 next week. That's going to be very fun. Avoid the spoilers and all that stuff, and hopefully till next episode, we'll see how it is. But yeah, till next time, y'all, get your game on. Feel free to fuck. Aw, yeah. Nobody's safe.